Okay, we also have an exercise. The exercise is telling us a horsepower is 550 feet pounds per second. A watt is 1 Newton meter per second. Determine how many watts are generated by the engines of the passenger jet if they are producing 7,000 horsepower. So, these kind of books are always talking about this power measure, a horsepower. Maybe we can understand what is some other kind of units, because, for example, a velocity, which is meter per second or feet per second, are how many distance I've traveled in which amount of time. But these kind of units are not that easy to understand. So first, understand it. 1 horsepower is to move a 75 kilograms person 1 meter in 1 second. This is an approximate value, but it is for us to understand what is a horsepower. Is to move a person who is 75 kilograms 1 meter in 1 second. That is 1 horsepower. Then, when we talk about a horsepower, then we're talking about a force pound multiplied by a distance divided by an amount of time. Then what is this? I'm talking about a force multiplied by a velocity. Okay, now that I've made that clear, I have to transform this value into international system units. So a force value for international system units, and then is newtons, and a velocity is meters per second. Okay, then what I'm going to do is to transform those 7,000 horsepower into this, in order for me to eliminate the horsepower. This is going to give me an answer that, I'll get it right now. 7,000 multiplied by 550, which is equal to 3.85 times 10 to the 6th power. Force pounds multiplied by feet per second. And then I'm going to transform those into newtons per multiplied by meters per second. So in order for me to do that, I should know the equivalence between these two, but I truly don't know. I just know that I'm talking about a force there. So let me get this kind of units more like simpler. So when we talk about a force, because of Newton's second law, it is going to be equal to a mass multiplied by an acceleration. Then, when we talk about US customary units, we are talking about slugs multiplied by feet per square seconds. And here you can see that slugs are the mass units and the acceleration units are the feet per square seconds. And the international system units will be kilograms multiplied by meters per square second. Okay, this is not a unit, this is a prefix. It is important for us to understand that these are the units, the grams. The grams are usually given in kilo because a gram is a very small unit. So this kilo means times 10 to the minus, times 10 to the third power. You can see that another kind of prefixes, googling units prefixes, and you'll find a chart in which you find all the kinds of prefixes. Then I'll write down this value using these kinds of units. So slugs, feet per square seconds multiplied by feet per second. Okay, because I have this and I have this, which is equal to this. And I just gotta transform those into international system units. So I'm going to multiply it by a lot of equivalences in order for me to do that. So for me to eliminate the slugs, I'm going to divide them and transform those into kilograms. I already know the equivalence between 1 slugs into kilograms, which is equal to 14.59 kilograms. Then I'm going to eliminate these feet into meters. And I know that 1 meter is equal to 3.28 feet. And I gotta do the same thing here. So I gotta multiply it by 1 meter divided by 3.2 feet. Or what I can do is to evaluate this division to the second power, which is the same thing. Now, let me get that result in the calculator. So 85 times 10 to the 6th power multiplied by 14.59 and multiplied by 1 divided by 3.281 to the second power. Then the result is 5.217993 times 10 to the 6th power, and the result is in kilograms per square meters and divided by seconds squared per second. So I already know that this is equal to a Newton, and this is just a velocity. This is just a velocity. So the answer is I'm gonna use just 4 significant digits after the comma, because I always do. I don't have a specific reason for that, but I always use just 4 digits. 0.2179 times 10 to the 6th power Newton per multiplied by meters per second. And this is the same thing as having 5.2179 times 10 to the 6th power watts. And this, guys, is the result for this exercise.